Now is the most crucial time to be focused on altcoins in the space that have legitimate use case potential, but also have a ton of significant ties like Hedera does, for an example, at a time where a lot of people are just very negative towards these altcoins because sentiment has been at all-time lows due to the market completely killing altcoins in the last couple months since March. And as we really think about that, like I said, I do believe that Hedera is a very significant opportunity in this space, and in this video, I'm going to be outlining the connections with Hedera and HBAR with the Federal Reserve. Now, with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So recently, the market did start to bounce back in a little bit of a big way, nothing too crazy just yet, but this is allowing us to start to see some, good movement in this market for once. And as we do look at HBAR, this is what the 3-day chart looks like. This is what the 1-day chart looks like. Now, I like to look more so at the 3-day here. We are not out of the woods yet. In fact, I wouldn't be excited on HBAR at all until we actually break over this liquidity wick from April 12th to be specific, because at this point, we will most likely start to have a little bit of a nice buildup in the market. More so, something similar to what we saw back in December, where we did run up here to about roughly like 9.5 cents. The next wick was about roughly over 10 cents. We came back down, retest the same level, which is at about like roughly 6.75 cents. But then from there, we pushed up. And that's where we got that big move to about roughly 18 cents after, having an initial move to about 14 cents, reselling back down here, retesting this as support, and then continuing higher, which is why we actually want to flip this, because once we do flip this level, I am expecting us to kind of range here for a little bit, build some support, then continue higher, possibly even retesting this one more time, retesting it as support, and then continuing even higher. Something very similar to what we did see back here, in December into January, and then ultimately into February. So that's what I'm expecting on HBAR, but we still need the market to play along in a big way, which is why we are focused on Bitcoin right now, because Bitcoin dominance is still very, very high. But outside of this, let's actually talk about a few recent developments, and then let's actually talk about the big news, which is Hedera being utilized by the Federal Reserve. Now, also, if we go over here, there is a new dashboard live, which is hashpoint.io. This is a great dashboard because it does show us the revenue. It shows us everything around transactions, TPS, created accounts, and all that. Now, if we actually look at this, we just surpassed 71 billion transactions. Love to see that. The last 24 hours on the network, over 200 plus million total network transactions. TPS well over 2.2K, which is great to see. And we also have the average transactions per second here as well. Now, one thing that I want to clarify here is the significance of these transactions. If we look at the last year on the network, we hit about 49.3 billion transactions, but the problem here, right? Well, actually the total is about 49.4 billion down here, but the problem here is the revenue. It's equivalent to $5.7 million in revenue. So to really kind of get to the point of significant revenue for the network, we need well over like 494 billion transactions. And even from there, it's really not that big. We need well over 1 trillion transactions on Hedera per year. So that's why I've always said, this is just a starting point. Like what we are seeing right now on Hedera is very minuscule in the span of what we should be seeing very, very soon once we start to see enterprise applications going live, because this is just from one enterprise application. But also we could see the HBAR staked, we could see the HBAR supply as well. And we could also see these created accounts, which I love to see. In the last year, over 3 million created accounts. Love to see that. But you could break down everything here in terms of revenue. Now, I don't actually have an account right now, but if you guys did make an account, you can see all this kind of stuff. It's great that we actually have tools like this for Hedera, because I'm sure that a lot of you are probably, interested on how much, money these transactions are bringing in. Right now, it's nothing too crazy. About roughly $18,700 every 24 hours in the last 7 days, for an example. You can see all this information right now. Last 7 days, about $156,000 roughly. I'm estimating it to the next point. But outside of that, let's actually talk about a few things happening around Hedera. So recently, Hashpack Wallet posted this video. It's about a minute long. I'm not going to play it because there is music behind it, and I know that YouTube has been annoying recently with muting a lot of videos, but we have HBAR network technology chosen to upgrade critical systems in the global economy. The entire planet will build on Hashgraph. And if we actually look at this, right, this is Mei Chen, the CEO of Hashpack. We are looking more so at what they did around, I mean, this recent development. First off, I just want you guys to take into accountability all of the names that are on this list. Yeah, this is very, very significant. This is all through one major connection. This is all through Hyro, right? And if we look at this, right, this is Accenture, the DTCC, Hedera, Hitachi. There's some great names on this list as well. But also we have the DTCC settling $3 quadrillion annually around global derivatives. We also have Hitachi, the fourth largest company in Japan, 1,000 subsidiaries. We also have Accenture, serves 75% of Fortune Global 100 and 500 clients, 9,000 clients, just for reference. And I also believe that there is one more. So actually, no, there isn't. It's just the GC in this video. But this is very important to focus on. A lot of the connections recently with Hedera have been so significant, yet a lot of people just continue to overlook them because we were at that point in the market where everything was down. And a lot of these altcoins, I mean, listen, if we go back on Hedera, just for an example, back to April, okay, Hedera was recently down 75%. So if we're really kind of looking at what's going on here, like a lot of these altcoins are just completely dead, even going all the way back to the all-time lows in this market. I mean, if we go back to the all-time low of 2022, for an example, HBAR is only up about 70.72%. That is not that significant. Now, if we go back to this high, it was up about roughly 409%. That's not too bad, but let's just be honest here. For crypto, that's not that great. So a lot of these altcoins have not performed yet in this market. We haven't really hit alt season just yet in this market either. So I am expecting once the market really kind of rebounds in a large way, we really start to see altcoins taking over. I do believe that HBAR is going to be one of the biggest winners in this space. Now, building off of this, and let's actually look more into the Federal Reserve connections. Let's go over here to Dropp CC. So we have here, we are excited to welcome Dr. Navinder Babur, a former JP Morgan Chase executive, as our banking technology advisor. By the way, I hope that I'm saying his name correctly. With 25 years in prime finance, risk, and payments, his expertise will be crucial as Dropp grows its instant payment, digital payments experience. This is with Hedera technology, by the way. This is a pay-by-bank platform providing an ultra-low fee alternative to cards and cash. And the crazy thing about this is paying by bank. It's paying by bank tapping into crypto. So this is the number one thing that I've been focused on when it comes to mass adoption of this technology, is where you have these banks starting to implement, something like this where it's just a UI change, but you have crypto on the back end. That's exactly what Dropp is creating here, and I love to see this. Now, also, if you guys did remember, if we go over to Dropp's breakdown on Hedera's website, we have pretty much just 1 cent for payments accepted on Dropp, 1 trillion plus micropayments market opportunity, and less than 5 second settlement on Hedera. Hedera's high-performance, low-cost network and services are essential to enabling our micropayment platform at scale. With Hedera, we can provide our users with a fast, easy, and affordable way to pay for the content they love, while also giving creators and merchants a fair and sustainable way to monetize their work. And they were utilizing Hedera to help transform the way digital transactions are conducted, regardless of size or location, so that consumers and merchants can conduct business in a highly secure, efficient, and convenient way with the lowest fee structure possible. And yes, I do think that Dropp is a very big project that a lot of people just overlook because they don't care about micropayments. But Dropp is a prime example of a use case that everyone overlooks, but has a ton of major connections. For example, if we go back to August of 2023, we have HBAR rallies on FedNow edition of Hedera-based Dropp. The token has now jumped nearly 50% over the past 2 months, and this goes all the way back, like I said, to August of 2023. And this is because of Dropp CC being a big service provider addition to the FedNow service. And this is with the Federal Reserve's new payment platform. And by the way, I'm going to say it right now, any project that has a connection to FedNow has massive exposure, and it will have massive exposure as well, because right now, FedNow is still in the early stages, but they already said that by the end of 2024, there will already be substantial adoption from major banks. Almost every single bank will be on FedNow by the end of 2024 into Q1 of 2025. But also, if we go over here, we have about the FedNow service. The FedNow service is a new instant payments infrastructure developed by the Federal Reserve that allows eligible depository institutions of different sizes across the US to provide instant payment services. Through financial institutions participating in the FedNow service, businesses and individuals can send and receive instant payments in real time around the clock every day of the year. Financial institutions and their service providers, that's the big thing there, right? Service providers, because Dropp CC, which is tapped in with Hedera, is a service provider, can use this service to provide innovative instant payment services to customers and recipients, and will have the full access to funds immediately, allowing for greater financial flexibility when making time-sensitive payments. Now, also, BankSocial. More recently, BankSocial announced Rivia, which is their payment network that includes RTP and FedNow rails and a uniquely credit union-backed one-to-one proof of reserve Hedera stablecoin supporting CU credit union deposit infrastructure. Get Rivia. With it, you can transcend borders, avoid bank hours, and eliminate processing times and costly fees. And this just got announced on September 12th. BankSocial is also a must focus on if you hold HBAR. If we go over here to their website, we have the evolution of finance on blockchain technology. BankSocial is your gateway to a full range of financial services using blockchain technology available globally, built on Hedera. And here we have changing finance as you know it. We have payments here, transfer, global access, lending, and even business services. And then, if we really kind of think about this, BankSocial has everything all under one umbrella utilizing DLT. But the big thing that I'm focused on is credit unions. If we go over here, we have what we know, global ecosystem, a financial backbone that fully supports both personal and business needs, including payments and beyond. Here we have the evolution of global financial economies. Think global, act local. BankSocial is defining the movement towards a blockchain-based financial system so that people can be people. We are social capitalism. And here we have synergistic systems. This is with their BSL token that is on Hedera. We have our main focus, borderless transactions, trusted systems, and evolving. And again, here we have payments, transfer, global access, lending, and business services. Now, if we go over here, we also have 10,000 wallets, and we're just getting started. They recently just hit 10,000 Hedera wallets. This goes back to August 19th, so they have been growing substantially, and that's just in the last 6 months. So they have been really kind of growing and expanding. But also, if we go over here to May 28th, BankSocial breaks the cost barrier for banking payment solutions, commercially launches first fully cloud-native payments for credit unions. This is a very big deal as well. And this was connected to the RTP network from the clearinghouse, combining Google Cloud, IBM MQ, and Hedera capabilities. They continue to push for digital banking platforms, but this is tapping in with pretty much all of the big players, which we did break down a little bit. We know that the clearinghouse is a substantial giant, but also over here we have BankSocial, 2.5 million direct credit union customer access, 28 credit unions signed to BankSocial. Now, I do want to reiterate this because we just got a big update around this, but 65 plus years of experience in capital markets, Hedera and BankSocial have become deeply integrated partners in order to bring open banking features to consumers supported by the credit union ecosystem. And we already know that they're tapped in with FedNow, and so is Dropp. That's two players that are tapped in on Hedera, tapped into the FedNow service. And also over here, we're actually plugged in right now with about 60 credit unions. We've got partners spread across the US that give us access directly to 3,500 credit unions. Guys, BankSocial is an absolute massive financial network on Hedera because it's connected to all these big players. And again, having that linkage back to FedNow allows allows any institution that is tapped in with FedNow and the Federal Reserve to be exposed to some of these integrations like BankSocial or even Dropp. And if we scroll down, we can see we've brought Mance Harmon and Lehman Baird from Hedera here, who really believed in credit unions, but coming to NACOSO made them realize that this was definitely the right place to be. And again, as we really kind of think about a lot of these use cases on Hedera, they are changing finance as we know it. We also know, outside of BankSocial pushing a stablecoin, we already know that Hedera just recently launched the asset tokenization studio, they already have the stablecoin studio, and they also have Hedera Guardian. So many people are just killing the hype around Hedera, and it's so comical, or at least they're trying to, but it's so comical when you actually look at use cases like this, and there's not much like this on other networks. Hedera is doing things completely different, and this is why I continue to focus on them. This is why I continue to look at HBAR, and I look at it even today at 6 cents or even around 6 cents, and I still think that it's so incredibly undervalued. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys definitely like, subscribe to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.